I am joined today by a dear friend, great, awesome person with lots of great stories, wisdom, and ideas to share that will make an impact and will make a difference in your world today. I'm joined by Antoine Masse. Antoine, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Ramez. Thank you.
Wonderful. So, Antoine, maybe just take a moment to give us a little bit about Antoine. Who is Antoine Masse?
Well, whenever I'm asked this question, I prefer to speak about the person that I am, not to mix between person and corporate person. So, if we speak person, I am grateful for everything I have. Thank God for putting beautiful people on my way, and honestly, I trust that I always have beautiful, ethical people on my way. I'm a very simple person. I do not tend to complicate things, and again, always grateful for all what I have. So, having this kind of personality and having such kind of people always on my way, I will flip it now to the corporate world and how it shaped me and the way I run businesses or the way I manage people. And I keep these beautiful relationships through all of my tenures up till today, still in great contact with people who worked with me like 17 years ago.
No, I mean, I think, just an awesome introduction. And I think as a human being, as a person, Antoine is one of the most genuine people, great listener, super, again, the principle of in order to get what I want, I have to help someone get what they want first goes without saying. And you know what they say, like attracts like. And that's why we are here today. So maybe tell us a little bit about how has this served you maybe in different stages in your professional career. So maybe how did you start? What is it that you studied? How did you get launched into the corporate world, Antoine?
So at first it was three options: whether hospitality management, whether gemology and jewelry design, whether cinema and acting. And due to some circumstances, I chose hospitality. So I went to France, and hospitality, in my opinion, if you don't love people, you will not succeed. If you love people, as they say, if you love what you do, you're not working anymore. And if you love people in hospitality, it will just attract more beautiful people around you and a beautiful way of running your business. So hospitality, all the way by profession, 3 years in Toulouse, south of France, 2 years in Paris for a master's degree, and then I started working.
Working what and where?
First, it was in a beautiful palace in Paris called the Prince de Galles.
Prince de Galles?
Yes.
Ooh la la.
And of course, I had little jobs while studying, whether night auditor, night receptionist, working as extra, as they call it in France, in banquets. It was very, very funny stories you can always come up with in hospitality, extra jobs, and still having friends still today, actually, from those days, going back to 94.
Wow.
Then from Paris, I moved to London, where I was working at the Grosvenor House of London as well, another magnificent property. Afterwards, moved back home to Lebanon, where I worked at as an opening team of the Holiday Inn Martinez Hotel. And I was chosen by Radisson SAS when they purchased the property. When they purchased, they flipped actually the management. So I was the spirit trainer, one of the spirit trainers of Yes I Can by Radisson for the new team or the new branding. Then from that I went to the 4 Points by Sheraton of Beirut, where I did the opening as well, opening team. While being in Lebanon, I was requested in 2006 to go to Aleppo in Syria to do the opening of Sheraton as well.
I'm going to pause you there. There was something you mentioned, the what do you call it? The captain spirit, the spirit.
Yes, I can.
The Yes I Can spirit. So it's a bit about building the right Yes I Can culture within that organization.
Correct.
Can you tell me maybe just a little bit about what does it take to really build a Yes I Can culture, or what were some of the things that you can share with our audiences that will help them to do that?
One of the most beautiful things in the Yes I Can, it was empowering people. Like you can, let's say I'm I work in the maintenance department. And while just walking in a corridor, I hear a couple saying that the lady feels like, I don't know, a champagne, or she feels like going to the beach, or there's something wrong, that without even going to them, I can go to the reception and I'm empowered at a certain financial level to send a bouquet of flowers, to send a bottle of champagne, or I can go to the front office manager telling him that I overheard this couple saying they feel like going to the beach, but they don't know where. So we literally had concierge calling these people and inviting them on the hotel expenses with a driver to go to the beach, spend the day, and come back, or a certain area of Beirut, because we were in Beirut by then. Yes, I can as well. It goes. You have to take me back to 2003, I think, to refresh my
20
memory.
years ago. I think let me pause you here, because what you said about empowering people, and today we're looking at from a sales perspective, sales and service perspective. One of the biggest differentiator in working in today's world is about are you waiting for someone to tell you to ask for something, or are you proactively looking for opportunities to add value to people? And I think that in itself is a very I think it could be a disease. It could be a disease where companies put a lot of restrictions,
Right.
when somebody wants to be in control. But I love this concept of empowering. Empower your people, empower your staff. And maybe one of the questions is, how can you apply this principle of empowerment? And by the way, we know today research on motivation shows that if you really want to engage your staff, if you really want to motivate them, all what you got to do is just empower them.
Totally correct.
To do certain things.
Totally correct. Even to go into less bureaucracy, we created a grid of gifts or services that anyone can offer. So you had the grid. This is this kind of a case. You can offer this kind of a case, and it was. I think till today, Radisson still use it, and it's a beautiful thing. Yes, I can. And indeed, empowering people makes them feel they own the property.
Amazing. So wonderful. I know that there'll be a lot of more stories coming up. So maybe I'll let you continue there. So I think we got you back to Lebanon or after Sheraton.
Being in Lebanon actually as well. So I stayed in Lebanon from 2000 to 2007. So I was lucky enough to teach in universities as well, where I was teaching at the Notre Dame University and American University of Science and Technology, and I was teaching hospitality management. I was 25 only, and my students were about like 20. So till today, I still have lots of students that we are really great friends. Some of them came to my wedding. Some of them still invite me to weddings, anniversaries. Again, I think listening to people, being genuine, can always keep the right people around you.
So let's go into the teaching mode. As you know, I'm also an adjunct professor at Halt International Business School. And if you were to kind of maybe just share a few points in terms of why do you feel your students, kind of related to you, became close with you, and how has this, let's say, impacted them in the long run?
Ramez, I always told them, listen to what I say in class, and you will score about 65%. And the rest, the beautiful thing in teaching hospitality, with all respect, my brother is a history professor, but history, it's done. When you teach something alive like hospitality or any other alive business, you keep on getting on a daily basis examples from your business. And I used to ask, the beautiful thing as well in hospitality is a lot of students, they work as well. So I used to share stories and they used to share life stories. This used to make the class extremely dynamic from a class point of view. At the same time, I used really to do my best to give them like advices on running their, like they used to come to me saying, I'll finish my BA and directly jump into a hospitality management master's degree. I said, no, you should never be doing this. Work for 3 to 5 years, know what you want from the industry and what you want from yourself. Some of them now, by the way, went to Italy and they became fashion designers. Some of them flipped direct, they are lawyers now. And some of them continued in hospitality and did a great career. So what kept this bond is as well being as genuine as I can and all the time driving the classes through a funny, respectful way that till today they have memories about some anecdotes we had in the class.
Wonderful. Antoine, thank you so much for sharing this. And actually, I think there's a lesson in here that is under what you just said. And today we know that storytelling is a very critical skill that all leaders, business owners, sales professionals need to be able to master. And through personal examples and stories, by the way, it makes the class a lot more engaging. We know today that when you're telling a story, you're engaging multiple parts of the brain, your auditory cortex, your visual cortex, your movements. You're actually imagining what's going on. So you're not giving your brain a chance to actually say, this is too boring, so I think that in itself, and of course, when the brain is engaged, the brain is, we say it's actually alive. So from the stories, if it's a struggle story, it's a struggle into success, then we can relate with the story. And that builds a certain level of oxytocin, which is the hormone of empathy, and you become closer with the person, so you see that you're sharing a common bond. So really beautiful there. I think today, just building on what you're saying, the concept of storytelling in leadership, the concept of storytelling in building. At the end, when we're friends, and when we get together, we don't stop laughing from many of the anecdotes and stories. Exactly. And stories make our lives. So really, thank you so much for bringing this up. And where can people apply this? From their personal life to professional life, everywhere. And that builds that bond, which
we always relate to stories.
We always relate to stories. I actually sent you a story that we had recorded you.
Oh yes.
In 2010 or 2011 or something like that. And
you made me laugh. I showed it to the family as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Great. So let's jump a little bit from hospitality. So I know at the very end, the last position you held from a hospitality perspective, what was your role?
I was front office manager and then acting general manager of a hotel as well.
Wonderful. So basically, you've seen everything within the hospitality.
Oh yes.
Right. I know for a fact that a lot of organizations, and especially what's happening today in the world, is we're seeing a massive influx of growth in the GCC. Whether it's in the United Arab Emirates or the country next door, which is this Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which with mega projects, mega things. And one of the things I always tell people is the vision is great, but now we really have to build capability of the people to actually be able to sustain the growth. It's no point of building something where we're not able to provide a certain level of quality, a certain level of service. Today, people, with the vision of really building within beautiful geographies some world-class resorts, what's going to make it more memorable is that world-class service that will
totally correct
will come along with that. And so wonderful. So from that, then what happened?
From hospitality, I started deviating a little bit. I was running coffee companies, then food safety, then outside of coffee and food safety, I deviated to diamond world. So I was running a jewelry company afterwards. Wonderful. Where again, in going back, in whatever I did, I still can tell you, a smile can break any concrete wall. Whether it is with a client, whether it is with a fellow colleague, whether it is with an owner, a manager, being calm, making people understand that we are not here to find differences. We are here to find how we can collaborate together. And if we are here to work, it means we are here to succeed. Once we instill this, and again, Ramez, thank God, wherever I worked, and speaking of any level of employment reporting to me, once people understand this message, they know for a fact that this person is here to help us all, and to help himself, of course, to do better.
Wonderful.
In a nutshell, that's how I can put it, whatever the industry it is.
Antoine, putting a smile is a very simple task, but it has a really deep, meaningful impact on the person receiving the smile and even the person putting the smile. So smiling secretes a certain level of happy hormones versus just frowning. You know, by the way, I heard this long time ago. It takes 7 muscles to smile.
And 17, I think, to frown.
More like 117 to frown, or something to that extent. So a lot of them. So I'd rather go the easy way, which has a better impact. Can you think through your repertoire of examples and stories? An example where a smile of a person actually led to some big results from that?
Yes, actually. I was in a taxi in Dubai. And the driver looks like had issues, had received some bad news, the poor guy, and he was really not feeling well and not driving in the right way. So I had to put my hand on his shoulder because I was in the back seat. So I said, can we park for a second? And he used to speak Arabic as well, an Arabic speaker. So he parked.
So you noticed him disturbed, and it's like, man.
Because I even was communicating with him, and he was like,
very brute.
Cutting and brute, yeah. So I had to make him park, and I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, can we have a little talk? So he looked at me. So when he looked at me, I started by smiling. And I said, listen, we are human beings. We all can have issues. We are living abroad. I don't know if you had a very bad call from your family back home, or like something happened. If I am bothering you, you can keep the fees. I will step out and take another taxi if you have something important to do. If not, just tell me if I can offer any help. This is real. This is not a story created. It happened with me. I was in Al-Quoz industrial area. Suddenly, he took a deep breath. He smiled back to me. He said, indeed, I received sad news, because I heard he was speaking Arabic, but thank you for understanding. And he started refusing the fees. So I really calmed him down, and we took the whole thing to a different level, and somehow we became friends as well.
Wow, I think here there is something goes beyond the smile, and that is noticing the environment. I think you as a person, you're noticing the environment. You're noticing, in this case, the driver, and offering your help, offering your service. And actually, when you confronted him with care, it just opened up a whole new world. And here's a great question. Today, a lot of sales professionals, sales leaders have a job to do, have targets to hit, have goals to achieve. And a lot of time we might confuse target achievement. Doesn't necessarily have to be that I stop being a human being. I stop listening, I stop noticing around and asking people, hey, are you okay today? How is your stomach feeling? Or how was the trip to the zoo, or the trip to actually, SeaWorld, or whatever that case may be. So that in a way builds empathy, and that again builds connection. So I know you have more examples and more stories, but if I were to kind of have you look back throughout your career and to maybe give people a certain advice to say, what are the 2 or 3 ideas that as a leader, as a general manager, as a business director with managed multi-million, billion-dollar organizations, billions, what are some of the tips that you can give some of our audience who are sales leaders or even sales professionals aspiring to grow and to evolve?
My first advice is that do not forget that if you are selling cars today, you might be selling coffee tomorrow. You might be selling bird cages after tomorrow. So your clients are your network. And when you are genuine and selling the right way to your clients, they will be recommending you afterwards. So first, be genuine. Do not lie.
So let's talk about the right way. You said, selling the right way. What do you mean by selling the right way, Antoine?
For me, it means be genuine. Be who you are. There is no need to fake. Yes, we have to speak great about our products, of course, or else if you are not convinced about your product, you will not be able to sell it.
Correct. Find something you're convinced about and talk about it. It shows through your eyes, through your face, in terms of what's going on.
And if you love it, like a little thing that happened with me in hospitality world. we used to have issues with the housekeeping and maintenance about the rooms and about understanding the guests' needs. So we created a program where every employee should sleep at least one night per year in a hotel room. This made them understand. I am in the shower and waiting for a service. There's a problem in the water. I'm waiting for food, for room service. So when you put yourself as well in the shoes of your customer or client or guest, you will understand a lot more their needs. Hence, listen, listen, listen. It's the best thing for you, and don't step in assuming that you know what they want, because most of the time you don't know what they want. And a lot of times they might need a lot more than you think, which will be great for you as well.
So the word here, assuming you know what they want. So the way we stop assumptions, I think when what really will differentiate a great sales professional, and again, the word sales professional, people are allergic to the word sales professionals. You know what they say is, I'm not a salesman, but then you realize that you actually, what is selling, and
Are all salesmen.
we're all salespeople, and
all the time.
my son is a great salesman because he convinces me to do certain things. So we've been selling ever since we were born, right? And the thing that I think people are reluctant about is we don't want to be pushy. So the image of a salesman is a pushy salesman. So we definitely don't want to be sleazy, don't want to be pushy. So the integrity, the intention that Antoine is talking about, showing up, don't think of your target. Let me listen, let me understand, let me suspend my beliefs, let me suspend my understanding of your needs, and let me dig, let me clarify.
Exactly.
Right? So wonderful. Great first point.
The next point, Ramez, I'd say we started with it in being genuine. Most of the time people say, in this world, in this time, people lack genuinity. I wouldn't say so. I think just if you, first of all, show up at the right time. Don't be late, because being delayed as well shows the customer that you do not respect them.
And you can be trusted. If you're showing up late, will you deliver your service late as well?
Exactly. And if you're late, it happens, call and say, I will be a bit late. It will make them understand as well that
you're a human being.
Exactly. You respect your words, you follow through, and you show respect. Again, to not only for your words, for your clients. Why I say being genuine, as you said, people think salesman, no, he's coming to push in. When you show the genuinity of the person that you are, when you show that you believe in what you are doing, and when you make them understand again that you have a network and you will meet them and you are meeting other customers as well, but you believe in what you are doing, this will always take your job or your presence with your client to the next level, and they will become your ambassadors, and whatever you will be selling afterwards. That's why I started by selling bird cages or selling jewelry or selling hotel rooms. Once you have the right bond with your client, they will become your ambassadors.
I'm just going to build on that because today the Academy for Sales Excellence has been operating since 2010. And we've been very, very fortunate to be where we are. But I'll tell you, your network is your net worth. And today, many of the clients that I'm serving were relationships I've had before 2010. It was people that I've developed, I've trained, and I cared about. I gave them everything I can. I helped them to achieve success. I was very concerned about growing them, developing them, and many of them today are general managers, managing directors of businesses, and they just remember who was that person that really built that trust and connection with them. And in a way, it makes things a lot easier. And if you're in sales, especially food service selling or automotive or any type of a business, hospitality, you'll develop a bond with people. And a lot of time, when a manager moves from one business to the other, the relationships moves with that. So if the relationships aren't done, if that is not your priority, to really understand what does it take for me to build goodwill, to really add what we call to put deposits in the relationship with another human being, because there will come a time where that will pay big dividends.
Yes.
Absolutely. So wonderful. Anything else that you wanna add?
Never overpromise. This is, again, extremely important, and it will affect all of your relationship with your customers. One thing that I can say, whether you're a teacher or a salesperson or a manager or a father, walk the talk. If you promise, you deliver. And especially with somebody who's paying you money. The customer is paying money, and he or she is expecting to get back the goods or the products or the service. Never overpromise. On the contrary, promise a little and deliver more, exceed the expectations, but never overpromise.
I'm going to shift into, so there was this never overpromise, and you were talking about it from a sales perspective, as a father, as a teacher, so as a leader, right? So let me talk a little bit on the leadership aspect. You've also led multiple different, multitudes of teams, whether it's hospitality, whether it's a direct sales force for the, pest control, was it, or
and the coffee as well,
and working within the coffee. So you were covering the HoReCa channel. So your team is knocking the doors of hotels, of chefs, of baristas, of different prospects. So again, if you were to look at it from a leader's perspective, right? I'm gonna ask you I'm gonna put a twist on this question. As a leader, right? What have been some of the mistakes? It's a difficult question, but what have been some of the potential mistakes that you've made that could have been detrimental? And what did you do to actually turn things around from a leadership, from a leader of that division, of that business, of that situation that you were in?
Thank you for that. And this really affect me from time to time, because being a people's person, sometimes you give more chances than you should, especially with salespeople. Sometimes you have great salespersons, but unfortunately they close the deal and they close the phone. So they close a big deal and they vanish because they want to celebrate the deal, which means they are lone wolves. They don't work as packs. When in reality, when you think about it, your sales, yes, you're doing a great job in making big deals and clocking or taking big commissions for yourself, yet this deal will never happen if the operation department and the admin department are not really fed well and in sync with you to deliver. Hence, in several places, I had great salespeople, but again, only salespeople. Unfortunately, some of them, I gave them more chances than they deserve, but at the end of the day, you have to cut this umbilical cord that you think you built with them and give chance for other salespeople.
So what I'm hearing from you today is selling is not just about going and getting the deal. Because you get the deal is the beginning of a relationship. And notice the word beginning of a relationship. So now you need to deliver on that deal. And delivering on the deal involves greater communication, involves teamwork, involves collaboration, involves checking with the client, checking on was the delivery done properly, and does your team need certain support to be able to give? So it's really all about that teamwork, that collaboration that actually can over deliver to So maybe the word under promise,
yes,
but over deliver.
Very good.
And that really gives the wow factors, like wow, I wasn't expecting that, and making it happen.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
Let me give you one more story, but this we will be speaking from a GM, general manager's point of view, please, not only running sales departments.
Sales departments, wonderful.
In one of the companies that I was really lucky to manage, when I reached, they had financial issues. And one of the main issues that they were facing was delayed salaries. So I was, and of course, so when you reach such kind of a place, the company had a great name and a great reputation, but lots of internal issues. So I sat first with the managers, and I started understanding why did this happen and what's the main issue in the company. So of course, you filter, you have your ways. you understand mainly that salaries are delayed and for everybody. And imagine me coming to this place knowing that my salary will be
Gonna be there.
So I did a little study and I understood that it was the main issue. So I asked them, what is the smallest salary in this company?
What was it?
By then, it was 1,200 dirhams in UAE, in Dubai.
That's fine.
So I told them, what I see in this company, it's a beautiful wall made out of bricks. Every brick is a brick of 1,200 dirhams. I made people understand that from the smallest salary to the highest salary, my priority is to make sure that the salaries are secured before anything else in the company. I made the team understand that me working my best to sustain you will make us sustain your salaries, your families. I cannot say I played around this because at the end of the day, my salary was at stake as well. And thankfully, and thank God, after 6 months, the salaries were falling on time and we never had delayed afterwards.
And what's beautiful about the story, Antoine, is, sometimes people might look at a new manager in terms of, okay, what is he about?
Exactly.
And why shall I change? Because again, I'm not getting my salary on time. I can only imagine the potential attitude problems or attitude, who cares? I'm not getting my salary on time. But
another GM, another leader,
right.
Another story.
We're gonna hear the same smorgasbord. But here, I think the message is, when you let someone know that, okay, I'm all about you, right? If you are not delivering your expected outcomes, if you're not working at the right level, well, how do you expect the company to give you what you're doing? And part of the question today is I can imagine some companies might fall into bad habits.
Yes.
And it's not one bad thing you do that will make a salary, be late, but it's many small things that you miss repeatedly. That the details, they say success or failures lies in the details, and it's that ability to make someone realize. We spoke a bit about empowerment. Are you waiting for me as a manager to come and observe what you're doing so that you end up doing it, or are you empowered enough? Are you realizing if you don't do X, Y, Z, how is that going to impact the overall results? That one customer, of course, is impacting our reputation, and our reputation impacts future sales and the ones after, and even the existing sales.
And the salaries hence.
And the salaries hence. So really linking it. So I love this. One of the quotes that I learned long time ago is, if you're going to push people, let them know in advance that you're pushing them for their own good.
Very good one.
It's just like, I'm being tough on you, but it's not for me. I mean, I am what I am. So I remember coming into Unilever Food Solutions many years ago, and people saying, well, why you have that head of sales role, not me? I've been here for the last, 5 years. Why you? And it's like, what? The thing is, I didn't make that decision. Someone else did. And if I were to be sincere, not to, I would say, make someone feel bad, but they didn't see that you had what it takes. And you can either accept it and then ask yourself the question, well, who must I become? What must I learn, do, become, so that at the next opportunity, I have a better shot?
Yes.
Because I'm not going to promote you. Who's going to promote you? What you do or not do is going to tell a story about who you are, who you're being, and are you worthy of that next role? So what comes first, chicken or the egg? Do I get promoted to do a good job, or I better do a good job to get promoted? So again, that really goes back to these basic fundamentals. Wonderful. Okay, so we spoke a little bit about selling, a little bit about I think that the mindset. Let's talk a bit about service. And I know from hospitality, this has a special place in your heart. So if I were to ask you today, many companies talk about this thing called customer journey and multitudes of touch points, right? From your perspective, Antoine, what are some of the basic fundamentals that need to be in place in order for a company to be able to live up to its expectation and its mission, vision, values as it comes to life in the way the customer is traversing that experience.
To start with, Ramez, again, no matter what you do, what kind of a business you run, you have to be customer centric. At the end of the day, you live for the customer and you live through the customer.
So let's talk a bit about this customer centricity. What does really customer centricity mean, Antoine?
First, if you claim to deliver a service, make sure you deliver it to the fullest. To be able to deliver the service, you need to listen to your customers. A very simple thing that happened with me today, I told you I had to call the clinic to drive my daughter. I called and the lady started assuming. I was like, please listen to me, ma'am. It is not for me, it is for my daughter. Then she started assuming something else. So I had again to, ma'am, just please listen to me. I explained the case and I said, I'd like to meet this doctor specifically. And we finally reached that point. Then I received an SMS. There was a mistake in the SMS guiding me to a different clinic. Ooh. So again, thank God I read because things are in the details as well.
Right.
So being customer centric, it has to be on through all the levels of your employees as well. So you need to embed this kind of spirit, of culture. Again, no matter what you sell, no matter what you deliver, put your customer in the center. And I had to go to visit somebody, a company, a couple of weeks ago. The way to reach them, and you call, and they start giving you directions and sending you. When another company, and I will show it to you when we finish, a dentist place, they opened, and they know it's a bit, it's in Business Bay. And you know, you have some terms to go around. They created a WhatsApp movie of 1 minute, 0.6 seconds, where it guides you from the highway to their building, to even which floor to park, where to validate your ticket, and which elevator to take.
And that's really cool.
Putting the customer in the center. What does this do? The least issues you have for your customer, the more he or she feels that they are in the right place.
Right. I mean, again, it's all about these little touch points that make the customer feel that they're being cared about. So what else?
Actually, the less you feel you're being cared about, the more it is. Why? Because when one day you compare between different places, you say to yourself, oh my God, in that place, I never had to ask for an SMS. I never had to ask for this. And this what makes the whole difference. Sometimes your customers do not feel it unless they try something else. This is why when you're delivering top notch, nobody will beat you.
I love this. When you train your clients, when you, I would say, in Arabic, تعودهم شو يعني?
Accustom.
When you accustom, exactly. When you build this habit, build this habitual way of delivering a service, and they can't feel it. But then it's only when it's gone that they actually would say, no, I prefer to go back to where I was, you know. And this is actually the story of our lives, you know, with many things. We only realize how good something was when we miss it. Absolutely. Great. So again, I go back to being customer centric, and what else? So being 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead, making sure that you're giving this full attention. I would say stealth mode. So it's happening in the back. You know, I can see a duck on the you know, going on the. But beneath it, there's an engine happening.
Like a theater, you're seeing 5 people in front of you. Like any hotel,
right?
You see the cleanliness, the beauty. In the back area of a hotel, it's a beehive.
Right.
So the same. Another thing that I can add, consistency / perseverance. These two, they always have to go hand in hand. Again, sales, it is definitely about consistency. You can never, because you stop consistency, you lose most of what you're delivering. Perseverance as well. Why perseverance? Now we're speaking about you as a salesperson. You have to be perseverant, and we all know it. Yes, talent is great, but they say again, the more you get into it, the better you will bring out of it. Consistency and perseverance.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So thanks a lot, Antoine, for this. Antoine, just kind of some final thoughts. We live in a very fast-moving world. You know, less than a year ago, there's this thing called ChatGPT that was created, and it kind of really accelerated the rate of change, and it has accelerated a lot of, I guess, what is possible in terms of engaging with clients. From your perspective, being from hospitality, working within the luxury market, luxury diamond market, super premium, super high net worth individuals, what role do you see AI playing in either enhancing or taking away from that, being customer centric, being focused, being attention to detail, or anything else that you see with that?
I have two answers for you.
Okay.
The first one, I think at least in the coming 50 years, because we don't know where technology will take us, nothing will beat human relations. Nothing. It is all built on human relations. ChatGPT is not able so far to come, shake hands, sit with you, listen to you, show empathy, understand and deliver the service, or become a friend/client. And lots of clients, they stop becoming clients and they become friends at some point. So I don't think for the coming 50 years, this will replace us.
Right.
Yet AI is magnificent when you believe in numbers. At school, I used to be somebody who hates math. Then,
Me too.
then I started, and in hospitality at Sheraton as well, and thanked them for that, they made me a Six Sigma green belt, where I understood that numbers can speak and can tell you stories as well. So we can use technology first you need to feed them the right data, and then use technology to get out the right reports, the way to the market, and this can help you a lot in selling the right product, solutions, going to the right customers as well, because a lot of time you lose time on customers that might not even be the right lead for you.
I'm gonna tell you, they say knowledge is potential power. Knowledge is not power, but knowledge is potential power. Only when you use knowledge the right way, then that becomes powerful. And I can see some of the gadgets that are coming up. So the visual, the facial recognition, and then being linked to a potential database where you get someone's LinkedIn profile or WhatsApp profile, or not WhatsApp, WhatsApp or Facebook, or many of
you never know where this will take us.
Absolutely, and you can maybe even see which are the brands that they've interacted with, or what were the last pages, what are the searches. I mean, imagine you being able to maybe have normal glasses on, pretty much, right? Similar to these glasses that we took off earlier. If you noticed, we kind of had them and we decided to take them off. Right? And be able to kind of quickly recognize a person coming in, and maybe, at least, I'm going to say this here, possibly having some insights, some data insights into potential interest, potential likes or dislikes, and other things. So how do you see that from a, let's call it, I would say from an ethical perspective? Should salespeople utilize such information? Should salespeople say, man, if the customer finds out that I'm using such technology, will they look at me the same way? Would they feel that, I'm being utilized, I'm just another number, and then that person was a pretty good / quote unquote con artist to an extent, to kind of say the right things, to click the right buttons?
Ramez, I think we have always done this. Since, like, when I used to sell hotel rooms, immediately when I used to step in a place, I used to see how I can connect.
Right.
Sometimes they have cigars, sometimes they have speed cars, sometimes they have retro cameras. Sometimes their kids used to be my age. So they used to relate like, oh, I see my son in you. And so I think we always used to do it. Yet you touched a very important point, ethics. There is some places, although yes, technology is allowing us now. Like if somebody has an open Facebook account, you can go see. Sometimes you might find mutual friends. But probing deeper than this becomes maybe governmental issues that I think stick to sales, and because with all what we're signing off now as customer privacy and waivers and NDAs and don't touch this and that, I think for the time being, unless maybe we can start creating profiles where yes, you can meet me virtually, you can put those glasses, and I have a consent signed that whomever puts these glasses, from my facial recognition, they can know my hobbies, what I do, and it might happen some. But for the time being, I say all of us salespeople do this and used to do it before, trying to understand how we can connect.
So, and you're right, because from a B2B perspective, today you go on LinkedIn, you go on someone's profile. So you're simply here accelerating the process. I think in a retail experience, in a retail place, you're being fed that because you don't really have time to say, well, let me check you out. But then again, you come to the points where maybe there is a certain data that people want to make public. And maybe companies, again, this is all getting and becoming more and more regulated as we speak. And, so I guess we have to wait and see in terms of how much of that becomes available in the luxury retail segment as such. Wonderful. Any other thoughts for you or for our audiences, Antoine, that you feel would help people to sell more, sell faster, and profitably?
Believe in what you're selling and learn really well about the product that you are selling, because sometimes you might get some customers like me. Usually before buying anything, I really read the manual online to make sure that this product suits me. And most of the time my wife laughs because whatever I'm buying, I know about the product more than the salesperson. And literally I had a car dealership inviting me the day after to tell them stuff that I found in the car. So it should never happen.
To tell them what? Stuff.
Options that the car does that they did not know.
Oh, wow.
It happened to me here in Dubai, actually.
This is not a surprise. A lot of the car dealers that we work with as well have a very, I would say, primitive type of a knowledge of their own products, but even of the competitors' products, to know how to possibly give a certain comparison.
I even had a certain product company that offered me one of the products to give them my opinion about it, because they saw that exactly.
You knew about it and they wanted your input.
Exactly. So not every customer will have this, but the more you know, the more will make your customer believe in you and trust in your opinion.
Wonderful. And this brings us to a close. Today, knowledge is available at people's fingertips. If you look at the car industry, just short 7 years ago, the average person to buy a car, they would visit 5, 6, 7 showrooms, and they'll take the cars on multitudes of test drives. Today, according to research, that number has dropped from 5, 6, 7 to just 2 showrooms. It's because of knowledge or because of information available. So customers pretty much do all their analysis, and they're simply going to is it this or that? And in many occasions, it's the person at the reception, the person that receives, that listens, that empathizes, that
closes the deal.
That ends up closing the deal. And when the customer walks into your showroom, which by the way, we're seeing a decline in customers walking into showrooms, right? What needs to happen is the sales professionals need to realize it's all about empathy. It's all about being proactive, and it's all about providing this unexpected service that really excites people to want to come back and tell others about what they've experienced with you.
Exactly.
Wonderful. So until next time, sell more, faster, and profitably.
Super.
Thank you, Antoine.
Thanks a lot, Ramez. Thank you.